Hi, my name is Mark and I teach economics. In this video, we're going to look at the computer game Civilization and how it relates to economics. What econ lessons you can learn from economics. Now, back in the day, Sid Meier created a series of term-based strategy games called Civilization and derivatives from that. These games had to, you had to make choices as you build the empires and span the history of time. Take civilization from, I think it was 10,000 BC all the way to the present and even the future. Now you would do this through navigating policies. They would be taxation policies, they would be expansion policies, and even military policies. Civilization, the game, doesn't directly teach you economics, but it subconsciously teaches you economics. It doesn't tell you words like scarcity, opportunity cost, budget constraints, but that is the premise, underlying premise of the game. If you've put enough hours and logged in enough hours like I have, then you'll become an expert at economics even without trying. You may not know the terms, but you will intuitively get the feel. How many hours have I logged in? Well, in the day, when I was young and beautiful, I used to play Civilization to the extent I had clinical vitamin D deficiencies. In fact, my hand turned into pretty much a claw or a hook because it cramped up. I beat the AI, the computer, at the highest level. At that time, it was called the deity level, and I was impressed. So I clocked countless hours playing this, and that perhaps influenced me and taught me logical decisions and understanding about budget constraints, choices, and the things that economics tries to teach in the textbook. So do computer games help with brain? Yes. If you look at the incredible Flynn effect, people who play computer games, or at least the population as a whole, might be responsible for this rapid IQ increase we've seen over the 20th century. Now, that's another topic. But let's talk about this game Civilization. I'm going to take you through a scenario. It will start. It will just be a scenario. It's called the Conquest of the New World, kind of like imperialistic, if you ask me, but it's whatever. And I chose, instead of taking from the dawn of time, a more relatable subject, which is the colonization of the United States. And I'm going to be the French player. I thought about playing the English, but I'm going to be the French player. And again, remember, at the end of this video, I'm going to go over some of the concepts that relate in Civilization to economics, but also for your personal life. Practical applications from Takeaway and Learn. You can learn about investing and you can learn about how to play the world better. So this video is a little bit unusual. I'm using Civ 5. I'd like to get Civ 6. Maybe if I hit 1,000 subs, I can justify the cost benefit of, spending the cash outlay for Civ 6. But I'm going to play Civ 5 through this. Stick with me. It's probably I've condensed about a 2-hour play into about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes at max. And then at the end of the video, we'll go over some of the concepts. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much. Let's get into the game. Thank you.
Here we are. I'm going to choose the single player mode and a scenario, not from the beginning, as I said. American Civil War, Conquest of the New World. They have the deluxe edition, but I don't think that's as good for our purpose. We have Prince, which is intermediate. It's not super hard, but not super easy. And again, I'm thinking about being Queen Elizabeth, but it just doesn't suit me. So I'm going to take Francis the First. And I think the French were pretty good with the Native Americans. In fact, it says Native American allies. So as we begin, I have one feeder city in France, La Rochelle. And I believe I can't expand anywhere on the continent. And the English are constrained to Plymouth. So that's basically where their economic power is being channeled into this one city. It's collapsed for the gameplay. And as you can see, you can choose worker boat, various expenditures on cavalry, swordsmen, but university, aqueduct, national treasure, wealth. And you have a lot of choices. But I think at the beginning, you want to do settlers, because settlers mean expansion. This is where you invest in your future. Yes, you can build buildings or structures, and that's equivalent to buying cars and cell phones today or houses. But you really want to start investing in your future. So I sent the caravan off to the New World. And I'm choosing liberty. A lot of times I choose piety, which is my favorite. but I'm choosing liberty and freedom because who's this guy? Okay, bye. And then, okay, I've got economic advisors, and she's telling me this about gold, and I'm just going to click through the screens. I just basically understand economics, so I don't need to spend, the foreign advisor, she looks pretty good. But anyway, so again, I choose liberty. I try to maximize the economic benefit of my civilization in this game. So my goal is not necessarily to win the game, but see if I can maximize the economics of the game, because I'm an economics professor and that's my gameplay here. I think I'd have to spend a zillion hours before I could beat the game at the highest level, if that. But again, economic goals. So I'm going to choose my research based on economics. I'm not going to go for anything military, but I'll do trapping, which is connected with animals, and perhaps there's economic benefit there. I know animal rights, but this is just a game, computer game, and this early civilization. So I'm sending these caravans full of colonists to the New World, and the map is hidden by the fog of the unknown. So I don't know where I'm going to land. I could land in Florida, and I think the French were in Florida in Fort Caroline, or I could go up towards Quebec. So my decision is going to be a series of invest and expand. And if you find this gameplay a little slow, you can ×2 or ×3 through it until you get to the end to get the lessons. Oh, there's a worker. I'm going to automate that worker, and he's going to improve the land around it. So it just makes sense. I could buy military units, I could buy buildings and structures, or I could focus on land and workers, which are factors of production: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. So let's say that land is one factor. It's quite obvious. Oh, there's a volcano island. Sometimes I like to settle volcanoes, or islands actually, and it's pretty cool to have a city on an island, but I don't think I can do that because it's like, as you get closer, you'll see it's a volcano. I don't think that would go well. Although in Vesuvius in Italy, there's people building, retirement homes right up the volcano, and they figure that when it goes off, they'll be aware. But, that's what they thought in Rome, ancient Rome. You know what happened there. Okay, so it looks like a trident, almost like a Ukrainian trident, but it looks like a gold place where they suggest a city to be formed. Again, land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship. In the game, land is land. You want to expand. Capital probably would be the gold you see up at the upper left-hand corner. I'm doing pretty well with that. Labor are workers. And entrepreneurship, I would say that's equivalent to innovation. Since I'm playing a scenario, the timeline isn't that long, and you don't see these great technological advances. Sometimes if you pump a lot of money into, or capital, we'll say, into civilization, technology, your other civilizations have spears while you have like lasers and drones and things. So, okay, that's another subject. There we go. I'm settling and founding cities. Again, my choice being near these strategically positive, resource-rich areas: water, animals, forest. I don't know if that land looks too farmable, so that might be an issue, but we'll see if the workers can improve it based on their technology, because they have this river here and they could maybe create some irrigation. So again, what am I going to build? A lot of choices. Labor. Land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Queen of England, she looks kind of bitter. Okay, who's this guy? He's actually a friendly, it says, but he's a little scary. Maybe I'll do something here. Let's see. Usually in the main game, I'm trading a lot. And that, again, facilitates wealth between nations. Adam Smith. This game, I'm pretty much just trying it out. Yes, they're improving the soil. But it looks better in France here, a more temperate climate. So I wonder where I landed. Probably in some dry area. I don't know if it's warm or cold. And again, where am I doing? Oh, I'm sending caravans. And again, what I'm doing here is I'm editing this video. So collapsing, it's already on an accelerated version with a tiny map. You can play like a campaign game that would last 20 hours plus, 24 plus. But this is like a 2-hour game. Montreal, one of my favorite cities. It's I've been going there since I was a kid. There's a lot of cultural things to do there, and I actually founded it right here. This looks like, actually, if you look at the map, Nova Scotia. So instead of Montreal being on the St. Lawrence, oh, who's this? River Ray. He's neutral. I think the French had very good rapport with the Native Americans. This guy's too far. The Incas are too far out of my realm, so I'm just going to say goodbye. It's a small map, so you never know. They might be popping up in Florida or something. Okay, so let's see what I'm doing. It looks like I'm just, again, focusing on building workers and constructing this Montreal, letting the city grow. The more food you provide, the more your population increases. And that factors into the victory games, the victory conditions of the game. I think you want land, population, happiness, culture. It's just not about simply money and cash. But I'm focusing on the economics, and I'm going to see how I do. And I had to blow the dust off this game. I haven't played it in a long while, doing other things in my life. But so I don't know how well I'll do. And this is a different version. This is a great person. He's a trader, a merchant. I think in the game I try to, bring him to a city-state and make some trade route, but it was unsuccessful because I was just plowing through the game. And I think I ultimately just consumed him and made him bring on a golden age, which is a gameplay in Civ. Again, this is Civ 5. You guys subscribe, give me likes. Maybe I'll have the money to get Civ 6. Okay, so these guys are moving troops around. I haven't spent much on military. I think I will later on a little bit. I always feel that's a drain on your economy, and the one with the least military in life usually wins, as long as you don't get overridden by another civilization. So there I am. This is the most smiles. People aren't that happy in my civilization. Perhaps I discard that. And again, you see me moving along the freedom track. Usually I go piety, because piety brings happiness. But I'm trying to maximize productive and allocative efficiency. So let's see. Where am I? We're in this wealth creation. I'm converting to wealth. This must mean I'm pretty far into the game by now. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I see that I'm not winning the game in any context. So I'm converting a lot of the war chest I have, the treasury I accumulated through this, I think it was 2 hours of play, into tiles. I'm buying land. I probably should have done that at the very beginning, because if you invest early, the magic of compound interest. Instead, this is a desperate move by a gamer trying to just expand his territory by purchasing it. But in life, not everything is for sale, and you just can't buy your way out. So if you see I'm number 2 for manufactured goods, land, and GDP, I'm doing pretty good in economics and literacy, but well behind in terms of population, crop yield, manufactured goods. Or no, manufactured is okay. So economically, I'm not doing that bad. It's my population is down. Maybe I should have given some economic incentive like Putin did with these fertility rewards, economic fertility rewards. I don't think he can do that in this game. But anyway, so again, I'm going back to trying to find the cheapest bargains in these. They're called hex tiles. They're called tiles. And probably the more expensive ones are either more out or have more resources. 163 in land. Let's confirm that this is having any effect. I'd see my score is 523. It's not doing that great. 163. Have I been increasing my land through these purchases? Because I don't know the gameplay. Again, this has been sitting on the shelf. Let's see what I'm doing here. Okay, choosing production. It wants me to choose production. No, I'm all about expanding, buying my way to the top. And I'm 170, so my theory is correct. So again, I ended the game. This is Emperor Nero. I don't know, that's not that great in victory conditions. But more important is I think I did very well at the end in terms of demographics for economics. And that shows, I'm number 2 in GDP, 1 in manufactured, and 1 in land. And that was my goal. And I had a lot of cash and coins. So economics teaches you a lot of things. It teaches you scarcity is the fundamental problem of economics. Scarcity, you do not have infinite resources. You do not have all the money in the world. Not even Bill Gates. Not even the president of Amazon. They have budget constraints. And it's how you optimize this to achieve your goal. So you don't have to be wealthy. You just have to think about optimization. And then it was also with choices. As you see, most of my video was about buying land at the end. I should have bought it at the beginning. My choice was invest early, invest now for the long term. And there was opportunity cost, creating new cities versus developing your cities. In the campaign game, you'll see that more manifest. Climate affects natural resources and nation development, no question. You couldn't really see it because I played the game pretty fast. I edited too much out. But if you're up in the Arctic or in the desert, you're not going to have as many resources. Truthfully, I think the Arctic is better resources than the desert because sometimes you have oil up there and fishing. And northern countries like Canada, Iceland, and Norway, they're doing pretty good. Where people in the middle of the Sahara Desert, they're not doing that great. And in civilization, you learn that. So these are some ideas that you subconsciously develop in the game. How to most efficiently use resources. So it's just not the resources you have, it's what you do with it. A lot of people in life are, try to throw money at a problem, and yet that's an inefficient way to solve it. Better is innovation, and I know a lot of people in their backyard farmers doing better than these large commercial farms in terms of pure profitability because they're using things efficiently. And the best way for efficient resources is capitalism. It results in the best allocative and productive efficiency. In the game, you'll see that. Trade. You didn't see it as much here, but more in the campaign game. You see that trade manifests a wealth increase by both nations because it's a win-win situation. There's very few things in life that are win-win, but trade is a positive-sum game. I know it's very political now, but that's another conversation. Maximize individual freedom and you increase wealth. Yes, Adam Smith, the unintended consequences of individual action results in society as a whole benefiting. So when you maximize your society's individual freedom, if you noted I went the freedom route, the liberty route, economically I did the best. I did the best of any civilization. I had the most gold at the end. And so if you want to be wealthy, maximize individual freedom. But there's a lot of other things to it. Again, land, labor, capital, and I'd say innovation or entrepreneurship are the factors of production. And use these to bring yourself to victory. Now, gold is not money. In the game, gold coins were represented as money. So gold is money, not paper that they print at the Federal Reserve Bank. That's just paper. I don't know if I have a lot of faith in it anymore, the way they're playing with interest rates, but that's another story. But go back to Sid Meier, Civilization, and you'll learn that gold is money. It's another conversation. Okay, these are 7 personal economic lessons that apply to your life. Invest early and expand and maintain the momentum. Sure, I didn't invest enough. I should have bought more land early on, because if you invest $10,000 now, you're a college student, my goodness, by the time you're 40, you could be a millionaire. You just invest early. But if you start when you're 70, that $10,000, I don't know if you have a lot of runway space left to take off. Maybe you do. Maybe you're taking antioxidants and green juices. Anyway, always focus on the long term, and short term rarely matters. That's true in life. People get distracted. They go for this quick cash, be a waitress, be this person, make some cash. No. Live a life of a poet, a poor poet, and develop your mind. And focus on the long term. My goodness, if you're 20 years old and you start investing and live a frugal Spartan life, an Epicurean life, and it's quite fun actually, it's a little bit retro, you'll be wealthy beyond all your peers. Focus on the long term. Don't get bogged down in fixed assets, cell phones, cars, houses. Better is to invest in intangibles. You have a family, spend money on education, chess clubs. I play chess and coach chess. Science. Focus on the things that cannot be, accumulating in your attic and in your garage. Focus on intangibles like piano lessons. My goodness, better than sending a kid to Harvard is teach them piano before the age of 10, let's say, in chess. Interact and trade with others. Yes, the best things I learn are when I'm at the park with my kids and other parents, and this interaction and trade of information and things. really is way better than the internet, because this interaction takes you to a new level. You're like, I could never have learned that just searching on the web. Pursue a peaceful and friendly interaction with others as hostile. Yes, hostility, either personally or for a nation, it drains resources and makes people poor. If you're focusing on military, the middle class will suffer. If you're focusing on peace and prosperity, and you look at a country like Sweden, you're going to win. Everybody will win. Faith brings happiness. This was not in this scenario, but in the campaign game, when you pursue things like, build cathedrals and have faith, people are much happier. And happy households are productive households, fulfilled, joyful households. Economic success is not synonymous with success in life or happiness. I didn't win the game. You saw that I did very well, but you can't take it with you in a basket when you go. And a lot of people focus on their career and success, and they have all the money in the world at the end. But what good is that? Because that's the end. So again, in this game, if you want to win civilization, you want to focus on culture, science, education, keeping the people happy, not money. And that is the metaphor or allegory of life. So there you are. This is some takeaways from the game Civilization. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you do, write in the comments below. Give me thumbs up. Subscribe, and I can create more computer game-based economic lessons. This is my first, test the waters to see how it goes. I like to do different things, out-of-the-box thinking. So I hope you enjoy economics and subscribe. Thank you very much.